welcome to Porto Business School. So today we'll be talking about one of the hot topics of social innovation and the link between entrepreneurship trends and opportunities and challenges that emerge in this context. And today we invited Christina Hertel, our professor of social innovation, and to address this topic and help us navigate in this topic. Welcome, Christina.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
So I think that the question that everyone is talking about, even the most experienced ones, is what exactly is social innovation? And of course, what's the role of entrepreneurship to leverage social innovation?
So that's a really good and a really tricky question to kick this conversation off. Most broadly speaking, social innovation is really a novel solution to a societal problem. And this solution is either more effective, more efficient, it can be more sustainable or more just than existing solution. And importantly in social innovation is that the value that is created from the innovation does not only accrue to individuals, private individuals, but usually to larger communities or society. That's a really, really important point in social innovation. So then what is important to understand is that social innovation can really come in many different shades. It can be encompass the innovation of a process, a product, a service. It can be a new business model, even a new institution. Then also importantly, very often social innovation is about addressing more the root causes of a problem. So that means it's not really just putting like a band-aid, like a quick fix on a symptom that you see somewhere, but it's really about understanding what is underneath and then trying to address this root cause. So those are, I think, the most important elements of social innovation. And then it's important that social innovation is not, I would say, the prerogative of a specific legal form or a specific structure. So it can really come in all different kinds of shades. But very often, social innovation does not necessarily or automatically create financial value for the organization that is carrying out or offering the new service. And that means that social innovation is often dependent on governmental funding, it's funded through philanthropy, it depends on volunteers. And sometimes this makes it difficult to sustain the solution over time and then also to scale the solution. And I think that's where entrepreneurship comes into the equation, because entrepreneurship inherently is about finding innovative ways of generating value but also capturing value, so creating these innovative business models around new solutions. So that's where entrepreneurship can then help to sustain the solutions, to scale the solutions, make it much more effective, if you would say. But then also, I mean, not every social innovation requires entrepreneurship. There are really successful social innovations out there that did not leverage entrepreneurship. I would just say that having an entrepreneurial mindset to social innovation is probably something that always helps, even though you might not take it to the point where you have a business model around the innovation.
Okay, we'll come back to that entrepreneurship mindset in a while. So this topic has been around for a while, but what do you think are the key developments and key trends that you are observing in this field that make it a hot topic at the current stage?
So I think the most basic but really important development is that it becomes much more mainstream. I mean, that's also why we're talking about this here today at the business school. So I think like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was really people related social innovation to the social sector. It was the social sector was in charge of developing and implementing social innovation. And nowadays, it's really clear that it has to be a mix of actors across sectors. So it has become really sector agnostic, and we really know that we have to bring together actors from different industries, from different sectors to work on these innovations. So I think that's a really important development that also now in a large corporate, in an international organization, wherever, people are more and more aware of this concept. And I mean, we see it. As I said, we are in a business school. We're teaching social innovation, social entrepreneurship, social innovation now to our students. So I think that's a really important development. Then the second thing is that this idea that social innovation has to be human-centered. So it has to be developed for the people, but also with the people, is something that is much more recognized nowadays than it was maybe 10 or even 5 years ago. So this is really clear now. Stakeholder engagement is a new hot topic, a new buzzword that people are using. And I think that increases also the effectiveness and the quality of the social innovation that we see. I would say a trend that is maybe coming from more outside of social innovation is that we care much more about impact measurement now everywhere. So impact measurement in social innovation was always a topic, but now suddenly it becomes relevant also for business, entrepreneurship in general. And this, I think, has really helped us in the development of better methodologies, better tools, which now help also social innovators to really effectively measure the impact of the innovations. I think that's really important. And maybe the last thing that I want to mention here is the use of AI. And I think, this is only the beginning, right? I mean, we're only starting to understand how AI can help us develop better social innovations, like more effective social innovations. But then also, I mean, there's a massive potential to increase the efficiency of organizations that are developing social innovations. And on the other hand, I think social innovation could become quite important when it comes to ensuring that we use AI in a way that is safe, ethical, and also really just, so that everyone has access to it.
Okay, great. So you mentioned one thing, which is redefinition of impact or value with other dimensions that the traditional ones that we typically teach at business schools. So, and of course, that's one of the challenges, the challenges that you mentioned in your previous comment. So what do you think for this roadmap, what do you think are the main challenges that we face going forward in terms of bringing social entrepreneurship or social innovation mainstream?
So there are still big challenges. I would say like all the 4 things that I mentioned right now, they're very positive and they are positive developments. And yet all of them come still with a really significant challenge. So I said it has become much more mainstream, right? So we have this in the business school now. We have a course on social innovation. We have some units in corporates that speak about social innovation. And still, we make a clear cut between that's innovation and that's social innovation. So if that's social innovation, what's this then? It's like anti-social innovation. I mean, it's... and so as long as we make this distinction between the two, we're not speaking to each other. And I think there's a lot of potential where like everything around social innovation should inform innovation, should inform strategy, all these different kinds of things. So these people, they can learn a lot from the people from the social innovation sphere. And on the other side, social innovators could learn so much from the business people, from you know, how to develop a good strategy, how to execute a good strategy, and from entrepreneurship, all these kinds of tools. But for now, we're keeping them still very separate. So I would say like having a social innovation course is the first thing, but actually they should be integrated much more. So that's, I think, one challenge that I see. And also when we spoke about stakeholder engagement, for example, I said that it's now much more recognized that we need to engage our stakeholders, right? But the thing is, we treat it very often still now as a tick-the-box exercise. So, you know, we have to engage with the stakeholder means like, okay, we identify a couple of stakeholders, we go there, we conduct an interview with them, and then we tick the box. I mean, we engage with our stakeholders, great. And it's just so much more. Like you have to work really with the communities, with the people. You empower them to become actors in this. And again, there I think we're not there yet,
Okay.
at all. And so there are still, like, I think, many issues that we still need to move on. And I think the best way to achieve this is really when the people from the two sides, the two parties, really they move closer to each other. And work together, especially now when it comes to like answering these questions around AI, right? I mean, this is new for all of us. This is new for the business people. This is new for the social innovation people. Let's figure it out together. Maybe this can be a topic, you know, where we start to feel comfortable. I mean, it's new for all of us. Maybe it can help us, you know. For example, ensuring that, because now, for example, all these large language models, they're not really for now reflecting the opinions, for example, of marginalized communities. I mean, this is a quite like Western opinion that the AI gives you. So how can we make sure, for example, people's voices are heard also in artificial intelligence? So those could be topics that could bring the both parties together.
Okay, one final question that I have for you is, we're at Porto Business School. Our aim is to form the leaders of today and the leaders of the future. And you mentioned a few qualities until now in our conversation. One of them is entrepreneurial mindset, and of course, the other one is to bringing different stakeholders to the table. What advice do you have for Porto Business School and business schools as a whole to help drive social innovation in the future and putting our future leaders in that perspective even more?
That's a really good question. So I think in general, we are at the right place because for all these challenges that I mentioned, it's really raising awareness about it and educating the leaders that are going to change this is the key element that we need. So we are really at the right place, and that's why the responsibility of business schools is very high. And as I said, I mean, having the social innovation course is one thing, but I think we have to make sure that we bring these topics really in all the courses. That also means that we have to ensure that all the professors teaching all the other courses, they are actually aware of the use of sustainability, of social innovation. So probably we need to learn also as professors. You know, also we have to skill up. I think it's important. I mean, we can't just think like, you know, the next generation has to do something new. It's also us. So I think it's that making it much more an integral element across all the different courses, and yeah, making them really aware of these topics. What does stakeholder engagement mean? Because it does not only matter for social innovation. It matters for impact measurement, sustainability reporting, so many different aspects in the business world. So we can only benefit from that.
Well, thank you, Christina, for having us today, and thank you all for joining. For those of you and future leaders that want to talk about social innovation, this is a topic that we've been incorporating in our MBAs and our postgraduate programs even more, and in the open courses. So this is a challenge for the future, a challenge for the leaders, and a challenge for Porto Business School, and that's one that we'll be addressing throughout the coming years. And thank you for having us again. Thank you, Christina.
Great pleasure. Thank you.